What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. If you've been following the channel, you would know that I recently started a scrap metal business, and I may have gotten myself in over my head. So I started a scrap metal business. We're not even open yet. I thought this would be like a really good idea to just kind of bolt on to my roll-off business because everything's already there except for a place to sell the scrap metal. So then I called around, talked to some steel mills. Come to find out, I kind of hit it off with the guy at the steel mill. They gave us a decent market, and so now we have everything we need to pursue this scrap metal business except for knowledge. So I'm like doing a lot of Googling and learning and just trying to verse myself as much as possible on how to make money in the scrap metal business. And it's an interesting business. The margins are good. The margins are even better if you're separating things out and you have multiple homes for like different products. Like aluminum goes one way, brass goes one way, copper goes one way, steel goes one way. And when you sort that stuff out, that's where you really make money, right? So we're not even open yet. The big holdup I have right now is that I'm trying to get the software right. There's a lot of regulatory stuff involved in scrap metal processing. They want to make sure that like somebody doesn't bring you in something that was stolen and then you cut it up and send it to the steel mill and then it's gone forever. So they try to keep track of this stuff and put things in place so that like that doesn't happen, right? So there's softwares out there that are made specifically for the scrap metal business, and we have been trying to get that set up. I'll do a video later about the software, but ultimately it's very much needed, right? You really need something or at least some background so you know what you're doing so that when you take in these products you don't like mess up, right? So I'm not open, but we're going down that road 100 miles an hour, and I start getting calls from people like all the time. When are you guys gonna open? I heard you're opening a salvage yard. I have cars, I have metal, I have all this stuff that I want to bring in, and we're not ready yet. But I got a call one day from a guy claimed to have over 5,000 acres, and a big portion of the acreage was covered in old pieces of metal, old cars, all kinds of stuff, and they wanted to get it off their property. They wanted to make a deal with me. Put you down right there. They wanted to make a deal with me to get this stuff all taken off their property and processed and sent on, and of course because of the price of metal, they wanted to get paid something. So I agreed to, and I took on this big job, and it's just a crazy amount of metal they have out here. I took video, but there's all kinds of old tractors, old cars, 18-wheeler trailers. Here's a couple of trailers right here made out of aluminum. Old tractors right there. Old cars. Car. See way back there. Let's see. Way back there, there's a bunch of cars. There's a whole bunch more stuff on the other side over here. So what we're gonna do is we brought our roll-off out here. We actually have a couple of roll-offs out here. And see, there's another one way over there somewhere. Where is it? Can't point at it. Anyway, so we've got a couple of roll-offs out here, and we're gonna bring our skid steer out here to start with, and we're gonna start gathering up everything we can get that we're calling like small. And small would be like, you know, 1,000 pounds or less. The skid steer can pick it up. We throw it in our roll-off, we take it back to our yard, we process it, and it goes on to the steel mill. Later, as I grow, I might get to the point where I can process things on site, but right now I only have one excavator, I only have one set up to cut. I don't have a shear yet. So it's better for us just to load everything in the roll-off, take it to the yard, process it, and then we'll just keep switching out these roll-offs. So what I'll probably have is I'll probably have a couple of guys out here, and they'll just be moving everything with the skid steer. Once we get that sorted out, we're going to bring our 18-wheeler and load up the trailers that I talked about. There's a bunch of trailers, all these trailers, and we'll take those to the yard and process those. I'm pretty excited about these trailers over here because they're aluminum, and then there's a stainless steel one over there. And we'll start taking all the cars and everything and loading those. But because, like I said, there's regulatory, all these cars, we either have to have a title or we have to apply for what's called an orange title. In Texas, if you have an old car that's been sitting out in the field for a million years and you don't have a title for it, you can certify, you know, hey, this car's been sitting out here. You know, my grandfather got it and whatever, and I certify that it's not stolen, and they will issue you what's called an orange title instead of a blue title, and then you can scrap it. You can do whatever you want with it from that point. I mean, it's just mainly for scrapping, but so most of these vehicles have titles, but there's a few that don't. And anyway, it's a really big job, but I think this kind of, it's like crazy. I talk a lot in my videos about opportunity, and when I started my trash business, I was getting calls before I opened, asking to sign up for trash service because the opportunity was so good, because the competition was so bad. Now we're not open with our scrap metal business, and I'm getting calls all the time. People, they say, I have scrap, and I say, we're not open, and they say, well, if you were, what would you pay? When are you going to open? You know, could I just come in and drop it, or could you come get it, whatever. And part of that's because the price of metal is really high, and part of it is because there's some competition in my area that's kind of weak. So it's just a combination of things, but I feel like I'm really on the right track. I feel like I'll probably, I don't know, we'll see what I make on this. I'm guessing maybe $50,000 to $100,000 net on this deal. There's probably $400,000 or $500,000 of metal out here. It's just crazy. But that's kind of the plan, and I think that kind of shows you, like, if you have a pretty good idea and you have a pretty good reputation, it could fly right from the get-go. You know what I mean? It could just go. So I wanted to share this with you guys because I thought it was pretty cool. This channel is just supposed to be about, you know, my life as an entrepreneur and some of the things I get into and what I'm thinking about them when I get into them. So this is it. I'll probably do a few videos about this job over the next couple of months because we're really going to be working on this at the same time. We're going to be opening our scrapyard, so there's just a lot happening as far as like my business life goes. So anyway, guys, that's it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you want to see more videos, I'm gonna put a couple more up right here, and I'll see you soon in the next one.